I found a gem of an archive from 2021 in an interview with Warren Rogan as we talked about some of the greatest NFL players that wore jersey numbers. And we came across a Hall of Famer, Len Ford. Warren has some great things to tell about Len Ford, and we want to share them with you now to honor this great player in NFL history.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time.
Len Ford, he's another one with such an interesting story. He played first in the All-America Football Conference with a team called the Los Angeles Dons. And for those who don't know it, the Los Angeles Dons were actually named for one of the team's owners, Don Amici, the actor. So,
okay, I didn't realize that.
They were actually that's who he is. The Dons were named for. He played. He was a defensive end, and he also on the offense he played left end. We probably better know that now as a tight end type position. Elected into the Hall of Fame in 1976, but he really made. He played for the Dons. He played for the Browns. He played for the Packers, but he's best known for his time with the Browns. So he leaves college. He was a big dude for back then. He was 6'5", and he played for Michigan. And I think the greatest team, or whom people say was the greatest Michigan team, was the 47 team, and Len was on that team. And this was during all, the color line and race and racism and all that. And in 1948, the NFL had a 32-round draft, and not a single team went out on a limb to take Len Ford. Well, the AAFC was trying to establish itself, and they didn't care what the color of your skin was. And the Los Angeles Dons took Len Ford. So his first year, again, we're talking statistics. Defensive statistics are hard to come by, but offensively, he had 31 catches for 598 yards and 7 touchdowns. And he followed that up with 36 catches for 577 yards and a touchdown. Well, after the 49 season, the AAFC folded shop, and they took in a couple of teams. They took in the San Francisco 49ers, and they took in the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns were a machine. They were the best football team on the planet, period, bar none. Sorry, Steeler fans. Sorry, football fans. Sorry, Giants fans, but that's just the way it is. The Browns were the best. Paul Brown assembled a team. And when they went to the NFL, again, Brown didn't care about the color of your skin. If you could play football, he wanted you on his team. And he knew how good Len Ford was. And he took Len Ford with him to Cleveland. Well, with Cleveland, he was an absolute stud. He 6 times in 8 years, he helped the Browns, and Brown pulled him off the offense and strictly made him a defensive end. And during his 8 years with the Browns, 6 times they played for the NFL championship. They won it 3 times. He was a defensive end on the NFL's 1950s all-decade team. And when he retired, he held the NFL record of 20 fumble recoveries. a superior athlete during the off season. He played in the National Basketball League for an all-black team called the New York Renaissance. Len Ford, again, I'm a homer. I named Harry Carson number 1. Len Ford could easily be the number 1, number 53 of all time. But like you said, he also wore a couple of different numbers. He wore 50, he wore 80, and he wore 83.
Peeking up at the clock, the time's running down. We're going to go into victory formation, take a knee, and let this baby run out. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back tomorrow for the next podcast. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.